Hello and welcome to the Ludus Show. Me, Ludus Show. Today, a brutally gory action horror show by Production I.G that I put on in the spirit of Halloween. Ladies and gents, I give you Blood C. So Blood C is an anime series brought to us by Production I.G, and it's an entry into the Blood series, which started with Blood the Last Vampire, a movie from the year 2000, and then later on a 50-episode anime series by the name of Blood Plus. Since Blood C is a total reimagining of some story elements in the Blood series, you do not need to watch either of the previous series or movies, either of the previous stories, before delving into this one, and that's what I did. So, the plot. Our main character is Saya Kisaragi, a young shrine maiden in a very remote town. By day, she's clumsy, she's innocent, she attends school like everyone else, but by night, she's a deadly monster slayer as her father gives her a sacred sword to fight evil, giant, human-eating monsters called the Elder Bands. The first few episodes are very much about setting up the contrast in this status quo. By day, she's just like, it's a slice of life comedy anime, and then by night, it's a brutal action anime with lots of blood, lots and lots of blood. But as the series progresses, little things start to crop up that make you, as the viewer, think maybe there's more to this situation than it first seems. The ever-unfolding mystery is the show's greatest asset, as they never overtly tell you that there's a mystery. It's just as the show goes on, you start to notice just little things, just tiny little details, tiny little quirks in lines and the way that people behave. You start to wonder, maybe there's a little bit more to this situation than it first seems. Are the Elder Band really the bad guys, for example? That was the theory that I was running with, and I was actually impressed by how much of the plot I did actually manage to predict in advance, just from little things that people said, that at the time I thought, oh, I wonder if, but nah, that's just kind of me overreacting to simple things. But no, in the long run they did actually mean something, and that just left me feeling warm inside, because I like being able to see things coming. However, being able to predict everything about a show ruins the dramatic stakes, as you have, nothing surprises you anymore. So, it's an excellent thing that the final twist of the show is so completely off the wall that no one will ever see it coming in a million years unless someone spoils it for them, which I'm not going to do. But suffice to say, it makes Mirai Nikki's final twist look completely reasonable. Now, I think that's enough talk of the plot. Let's move on to the more technical side, the presentation, shall we say. The visuals of the show are great. You knew that already. It's Production I.G. They did Attack on Titan and Ghost in the Shell. Doing stuff that looks good is kind of their jam. The animation is very fluid, very weighty. It all feels very real, the actions that are being done. The fight scenes in particular are particularly fun to watch just because they're so entertaining. It's just, the movement is so kinetic, it's so energized, and it also doesn't feel too anime, if you know what I mean. It's not all like crazy spinning attacks. It's just like someone with a katana just stabbing people. It's nice. Yeah. The other thing that I really liked about the fights that's not really related to the presentation as such, it's a thing in anime that you get a lot when people just talk your ear off throughout the fights. They're just constantly yapping at each other, talking about the different philosophies. And it's just like, shut the fuck up, you're trying to kill each other. Stab, not talk, because you're distracting yourself. But this, none of that. They're completely silent throughout most of the fights. And it feels so much more real and so much less anime that I kind of appreciate that. Of course, since we're talking about the fights, we might as well talk about the designs of the opponents, the Elder Bands. Oh my god, they're all so cool! Like, they're fucking terrifying. Don't get me wrong, I would not want one of these walking into my bedroom at night, or walking into one of them in a dark alley at night, but Jesus! They look so cool, they've got so many moving parts, they've got so many creative ways that they can brutally murder humans. And when I say brutal, I mean... brutal! Yeah, seriously, don't watch this show if you don't like excessive gore, because this makes Elfenlied look like My Little Pony. The general art style of the show I'm not sure I can so confidently praise. It doesn't really stand out much. It kind of feels a bit too angular, if you ask me, like the way the characters look, especially the faces. Like, it looks fine, but I don't know, just it could have looked better, I feel. But it serves the show's purpose fine, even though it looks like the waists of male characters look really weird. But I don't know. I'm no art designer. Now that we've done the visuals, let's talk the audio. This is actually probably my single favourite thing about this show. The way that it sounds. All the sound effects feel like, they feel very unique. They don't sound like they're just using stock sound effects. Like, okay, for example, the scene from episode 1 where she draws her katana from her sheath. Just the way that it scrapes, it sounds like they actually got a katana and drew it the exact same way to try and make it match. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing this and thinking it's better than it is, but I just think it sounds really good. And one other thing that the sound does in this show that I'm very happy with is, well, something that you get a lot in animation, especially when you're working with a TV budget, is when the sound effects feel very much in a bubble. All the stuff that happens on the screen is all that you're hearing, and all the stuff outside you don't really hear. You don't hear cars going past a few blocks over, you don't hear the wind, things like that. But this show has all of those things. So every scene felt much more alive and much more real. Music's also good. It sounds very nice. It feels somewhat reserved and epic at the same time. They do use the melody of the main theme a lot though, so by the end of the show you're probably going to be sick of hearing na 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 na. But I like it. It's still good. And the way that they remix it into several different tunes still sounds very nice. They've got it quietly on a piano one minute, they've got it like accompanied by epic strings for a battle the next. It's still good. Finally, the acting. I watched the show in Japanese with subtitles as opposed to using the official English dub, and I can safely say that the voice acting is excellent across the board, especially towards the end of the show. I went back and rewatched episode 1 in English just so I could get a feel for the dub, so I can give some kind of opinion on it. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. If you really don't want to watch with subtitles and can't speak Japanese, then it'll do you fine. But just some of the delivery feels a little bit off sometimes.
Are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine, don't worry. I'm really tough.
I don't know. Now, before I give a final score for the show, I want to consider the fact that it doesn't actually end with the series. The series reveals an ultimate antagonist, such as it is. And this antagonist survives the series and gets away. So the series ends on something of a minor cliffhanger, as though the mystery has been resolved, the villain is still alive. And we end with Saya gearing up to go hunt him down. This is where the sequel movie, The Last Dark, kicks in. Or rather, it picks up 6 months later, after she has tracked the villain to Tokyo. She then joins up with a hacker group who can help her track him down, and then it's like an hour and 40 minutes of trying to deal with them. The movie overall, I'm not going to give too many thoughts on because this is mainly a review of the series, but I thought it was a bit of a disappointment. It didn't look very good, it didn't have many of the things that I actually liked about the show in the first place, being... I don't know how to describe the movie really, but it doesn't feel like an action movie or a horror movie, so it doesn't really feel like it meshes with Bloodsea as you might have wanted. And it's not like it's in the same position as, say, Madoka Rebellion, where, because the show ended well enough, you're like, yeah, you can skip it if you want, or just pretend it's not canon. Because, I don't like Rebellion. Let the hate of people who like it come in. It's more in a Conqueror of Shambhala kind of situation, where the show kind of ended, but not really. And then this is just kind of tying up the loose ends, but I don't think it ties the loose ends very well. So really, when watching this, you've got to pick between an unsatisfying ending and no ending at all. But despite that, overall I've got to say that Bloodsea is definitely an entertaining watch. For its incredible production design, to its excellent action sequences, fun characters, and ever-evolving mystery, is more than worth the watch. This show has you covered if you're looking for something gory to watch this Halloween and have already gone through another Higurashi and Corpse Party. Blood-Sea is without a doubt legendary. 9 out of 10. 6.7 average score on my anime list? Fuck off! And while we're at it, let's say that the movie gets a 6 out of 10. Bland, visually unappealing, and devoid of any of the features that made the series worth watching. So yeah, that's that. I've been Ludus Show, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time for whatever I do next. Hopefully it doesn't take 10 months to get there this time.